Hey, beautiful people. So, if you are wondering how you're actually going to make your income goals in 2026 when you already feel like your 2025 has been more than a notion, this is the video for you because I'm going to tell you the 6 things that I believe are going to keep you from making the money that you could be making in your business or in excelling in your career in 2026. And the one thing that you could do to combat all of those 6 things that I know are probably stopping you. The reason I know that these 6 things are stopping you is because if you're still watching this video, there are things that you would have desired to do at the end of 2025. And now that we're toward the end and they haven't been done, you're left about to put them right back on your to do list. And if you don't fix these things, you are going to still have them on your list in 2026 without that income increase that you desire. So listen up. My biggest thing is that as an entrepreneur, someone that has ran 2 6-figure businesses and has done it successfully over the last 21 years of one of them and the other one over the last 10 years, what I do know is you cannot get around asking. You cannot get around being visible. You cannot get around promoting your services and sharing how you serve others and how you are a solution to people's problems if you desire to be an entrepreneur. Same thing is true when working full time. Most of the time that I've been an entrepreneur, I have also worked full time. There was not one time where I got promoted, where I was able to make more money when I didn't ask, when I didn't negotiate, when I didn't position myself as the best person for what it is that I was pitching myself for. So even if you're not selling in the sense of being an entrepreneur, you are selling or being able to communicate, position yourself as the best person for whatever job that you're in. So there's still an element of asking, of standing in who you are, being able to position yourself as that best person for the solution to something that needs to happen. If you have a gap between where you are and where you desire to be financially, yes, we can have a whole nother session on, managing your finances. So that's one thing, right? Decreasing your expenses, living under your means, and being a better steward over what you have. That is important. The other part of that is also your capacity to earn more and to create more income. I believe that if you have a gap in creating income, it is because of your inability to ask and position yourself as the person that is the best to solve the problem of the people that you're in front of, whether that's an employer or whether that's a client. And so the 6 things that I believe get in the way of you being able to do that is one, do you feel like you're a bother? That is something that I typically feel like I've had to deal with over the years as a recovering people pleaser, not wanting to ask, not wanting to pitch myself or to pitch my program, my service, or what have you. Even when I was working in nonprofit, I was raising money for fundraising and sometimes not wanting to be a bother, not wanting to ask people so much that it makes them feel overwhelmed. And so really putting other people's needs in the temporary space over my own, but not necessarily considering like how what I'm asking could actually help them with the things that they need as well. And so when you feel like you're a bother, you feel like you're too afraid. Sorry, this is bothering me. When you feel like you're too afraid to actually ask for things, that's when it can be a problem between your income and where you are because you're being afraid to ask for things. The other thing is what you're asking for too big. There was a time where I would feel like I thought that what I was asking for was too much, even though this would be something that would benefit them, but I'm asking too much of them. Even if, the price point matched what their value would be, I would feel almost insecure about throwing it out there for them. I remember there's this coach that I would follow, and she would say, get out of people's pocketbooks, like get out of people's wallets. Sometimes we are so worried about, are they going to be able to say yes, that we don't say our price. We don't say what the value is. And being detached from their yes is going to make it easier for you to say it because at the end of the day, who cares if they say no? There are a lot of people to ask out here. And it doesn't mean it's forever. It might just be for right now. So we don't have to get our panties in a bunch about someone saying no to us. All right. The other part is am I being pushy? So feeling like, okay, am I being too pushy with these people? And so I am not a pushy person. Let's just be clear. I know that about myself. But again, it's almost like that first thing. Am I being a bother? Also started trickling into like, okay, if I'm not being a bother, am I being pushy? Am I making them make a decision they don't want to make? And I'm never like that. I think a lot of it, and if you feel like this, it might be you too, is how we have felt in positions where we have been, pitched an opportunity, whether it was like a sales opportunity or even being pitched to volunteer somewhere, something that didn't cost anything but our time, which I believe is more valuable than the money. But at the same time, we have had those feelings of being kind of put in a corner, being asked to do something that maybe we didn't want to do. And that's a personal problem. Like we have to be in control of our own boundaries of saying no. But the times that we have felt like we've been pressured to say yes or no, we start feeling that again when it's time for us to ask someone for something or time for us to propose something to someone else. And I felt self-conscious of not wanting to be that way. And so in a sense, it's also making me have this weird energy talking to people, which I think is repelling. When talking to them, it's like I'm not even being pushy, but now I'm being like real mousy about saying stuff to them instead of being 10 toes down about what I believe is going to be beneficial to them and whatever the ask is. So that might be the gap that's keeping you from getting somewhere because now you're shrinking because you don't want to be pushy. You're all the way on the other end. So that can be like not beneficial. The other thing is I'm wondering, like, do these people have other things going on? And so then I get really concerned about, like, is the timing right? So, there's this saying or this scripture, there's no such thing as perfect conditions, right? And so I used to always feel funny about, like, well, if I'm asking someone for someone or having a meeting with them, oh, you know how you say things, or maybe this is just me, you would say things like, oh, I know you're busy. But that's almost like making it seem like their time is more valuable than your own time instead of just valuing time and just making sure that when you're talking to people, you're doing it in a way that is efficient, is direct, it's allowing them to understand what's going on, and time is not being wasted with fluff and words. And so that thought was like not productive. It was just another way of me making myself like less important than the person in front of me, and that can show in energy. Then the other question that would bother me, or the other thing that I believe keeps you from success, right, is believing this whole thought of do they even value what I do? So this is you again questioning your enoughness. I can't tell you how many executive women I've worked with that were looking for promotions, or people that have come to me wanting to pitch their business that have said they don't know what the value of their services are, so they don't know what to price it, and they're not sure if the price that they have is too high or too low or what have you. And so really feeling like, oh, is this even valuable enough to the people I'm talking to, or people that are pitching themselves for promotion when it comes to negotiation, not valuing themselves to be able to negotiate for another 40K, 100K, a bigger full compensation package or what have you. So it's just this undervaluing, this feeling of not enoughness that shows up. And that is another thing that can get in your way of success. If you want to close the gap in your income, you have to believe that you're already enough. You already have to believe that what you bring to the table is valuable. So you can name your price. Whether they say yes or no is not your problem because there are more people, there are more opportunities in the pool than the one person that is in front of you. And then the sixth thing is that we ask ourselves, is my price too high? That's whether you're negotiating for a job or whether you're negotiating for your price in your business. That's a gap that can keep us from being successful in 2026. And we're asking ourselves that. What we really need to be asking ourselves is the problem that I'm solving more valuable than what I am getting in dollars? Because it ought to be. Whatever problem that I'm solving should be something that is so valuable. It's higher, way higher, 10 times, 20 times, pick a number, higher than what they're actually paying me. Usually you're going to be paid less than what the value is of whatever that you're bringing. And so when you're thinking about all six of these things that I talked about, and in what way can you solve them all, the one way that you can solve all of those things is by stepping into the identity of the person that believes that the answers to your success are already done. When I believed that the 900 people that I was going to ask in my 900 ask challenge, that ended up being 190 people instead of 900, if once I believed that what I was asking of them, that somebody was going to say yes, that my outcome was going to be successful, then I was totally detached. You get to be detached to the outcome of the person that's in front of you that you're making an ask to. When you start detaching yourself to the outcome and you start standing in belief that my results are going to be my results regardless of this one person out of the billions of people in the world that are going to say yes, you are going to win in 2026. I am 1000% sure. When I did my 900 Ask Challenge and I ended up asking 190 people and I pitched a 100K offer, I didn't know who was going to say yes to it, but I pitched it and the people said yes to my 100K offer and started off with a 25K contract. That was after asking close to 130 people. And those 130 people that I asked before then did say yes to other things. So I did get, some monetary benefit, and other things were relationship benefit, not necessarily monetary, but relationship, partnership benefit. So the more people you ask, someone is going to say yes. And so if you can keep in mind, like, if I continue to ask and be detached and just know that I'm creating relationships, I'm understanding who people are. I'm a very big relational person when it comes to asking. I don't consider myself a salesperson. I'm a connector. I'm relational. I want to serve people, and that is what it's about. And so when it comes down to it, I want to create opportunities. I One thing that I hate is seeing people not create their own opportunities, and they're sitting in the world feeling like everything is happening to them. And that's nothing to be ashamed of, because life happens and we're human and we will feel like that sometimes. But at the end of the day, we can create opportunities, and I believe the number one way you can do that is by asking and being detached from the answer and continuously being intentional about asking and learning from every ask until you get your yes, because you will. So if you liked what I'm saying, then you get to come to my 3-day change challenge where I'll be breaking down what I did for my 900 ask challenge, helping you get clear about what it is that you know you need in 2026 and step into the identity of the person that actually makes the ask. So I'm going to put the link below at the end of this live, and I hope to see you there. And if not, I'll see you in the next video.